Hello Wolfpack, I did a video earlier today. Unfortunately, the sound wasn't working and I had to take it down. So I've rushed to get this video back out after doing some chores during the day here and working on the course with MegaWhale. But essentially what's going on now in the market is very important stuff, right? The total cryptocurrency market cap, which is basically a chart that shows you how much money is wrapped up in cryptocurrency in total. Right now that says 1.66 trillion, which means $1.66 trillion is in cryptocurrency right now in general. Altcoins, Bitcoin, everything. 1.66 trillion, okay? That is on support. And that support is coming from January 2021 all the way through June, all the way through July, all the way through January this year, and it's currently being tested once again. And at this lower level, this pink level here for support that we're holding, this major support line, is being met with the top resistance line, which is also pink. I'll make it dashed so it's a little bit more easy to distinguish. And it's forming a triangular formation. Okay, what does that mean? You know, it means that we're seeing compression before a move. When you see compression, it usually leads to a boom or a dump. Okay, very simple. Seeing as we're in a downwards trend, a symmetrical triangle after a downwards trend is typically bearish. It leads to a downside break. Given the fact we're bearish on Bitcoin, we have to be bearish in this as well. And then you beg the question, well, are we bearish on Bitcoin? How do you know we're bearish on Bitcoin? Well, first and foremost, you know, excluding everything on a longer term scale, you know, the fact of lost the Ichimoku, Gaussian channel, 50-week, we're down 50% from all-time highs. You know, excluding all of that, in a very short-term prediction, we're bearish on Bitcoin because what we have right here, and what a lot of people would not know, is we have a bearish bat formation on Bitcoin. Now, a lot of people wouldn't even know what a bearish bat formation is, okay? A bearish bat formation is a charting pattern. It's called a harmonic charting pattern. Essentially, it looks like a double bottom, but it's not quite a double bottom. And it looks kind of like a W formation, but it's not quite a W formation because the right side of a W is higher than the left side of a W. And it essentially leads to some sort of triple top formation, or at least double top formation, and then a crash downwards to the angle of trajectory between A and C, which acts as a support line. That's very confusing to say, but essentially, we're heading downwards towards whatever the angle of trajectory between A and C is. That angle of trajectory is going to be coming in at around 35k, which means we're heading towards 35k on Bitcoin. That is the first step. The second step would be to see a small bounce up to this pink downtrending line, which is very important. Rejection off of that, and then a break below the angle of resistance from A to C towards 30k. Okay, that sounds a bit complicated. It's hard to explain it kind of verbally off the top of my head, but that's how it works, okay? So essentially 35k is the first target. We might see a little bounce from there, say to this pink uptrending line, which is the logical target, and then a rejection down to 30k. And yeah, I think we're going to be at 30k by the end of April, right? That's my prediction there, and possibly even sooner, possibly within a month. Let's see what happens. But the reason why this is relevant is because we're bearish on Bitcoin, and hence the total cryptocurrency market cap is also bearish. Now, we could see, it's not a stretch of the imagination to see one more swing to the upside before rejection, but ultimately, we're going to be rejecting. And when we look at that evidence there for rejection, we have to be looking for where the next support line is, okay? When you reject from something, when you break downwards, the first thing you should do in charting is look where the next support is, because that's the most likely place where you're going to end up, at least for a retest, okay? And on the total cryptocurrency market cap, the next line of support is sitting at around 1.3 trillion and 1.1 trillion. Now we have to ask where that support zone actually is on a historical reference so we can make a reference and apply that to Bitcoin. The 1.3 trillion to 1.1 trillion support line on the total cryptocurrency market cap chart that we will be targeting from a move down, not only based off logic, but also based off an actual technical target, which is going to be taken from the top of the triangle to the bottom of the triangle, apply that to the breakout point. You can see we're very much targeting that point from a technical analysis standpoint and a logical standpoint. But what I'm saying is that area is kind of relevant and was relevant at the period of time between June and July 2021, okay? What was going on in Bitcoin in June and July 2021? We were at the 30k region, okay? That area was also relevant back here in January 2021. What was going on in Bitcoin in January 2021? We were at this 30k region, okay? So basically what it means is that if this breaks downwards, and it probably will, right? It most likely will. Either it's going to be today or tomorrow, or it might be next week after a swing to the upside before a break. Okay, it's going to break downwards though. Like that's pretty certain at this point. Obviously nothing's certain, but it's very likely. When this break downwards, you know, it suggests that Bitcoin is going to go to the 30k region. Okay, so we might see a breakdown, 35k retest, and then 30k region, and that would look something like this on the total cryptocurrency market cap chart. A breakdown, a little bit of a bounce around, and then break down to the 30k region. Okay, so we're going to 30k on Bitcoin as per this chart, and the DXY is something that supports this, and I want to look at something else that supports this as well. So essentially the claim I'm making in this video is that Bitcoin will be retesting 30k, probably within the next month, give or take a little bit, probably within the next month. Okay, so the DXY is a chart that essentially measures the strength of the US dollar in relation to other currencies, global currencies, okay? This thing has been in a rising wedge. And I want to talk about the correlation between Bitcoin and the DXY. A lot of people would know about it who've watched my channel before, but the DXY and Bitcoin are extremely reverse correlated. Extremely reverse correlated. So when this thing goes up, this is the entire bear market in Bitcoin. This thing was going up when Bitcoin was going down. This thing crashed, Bitcoin went up. This is where Bitcoin saw the majority of its bull run, okay, when this thing was crashing, okay? And now it's going upwards, and it's been going upwards since May. And as we know, Bitcoin has been showing a dramatic lack of strength since May, right? Accelerating since November. So when this thing goes up, Bitcoin goes down. And this thing has just broken a rising wedge, which is typically a bearish pattern, to the upside, which shows how much strength it has. And it's broken above a resistance zone that's been there since 2015 and possibly even before that point. Okay, so this thing is breaking to the upside at a rate of which we haven't seen in a long time. And to make matters even worse for Bitcoin, because that's already bad enough, you don't want to see this breaking upwards, because if this breaks up, Bitcoin goes down, okay? And that's what's happening right now, right? This thing's skyrocketing, Bitcoin's crashing. And to make matters worse, the interest rates decision is coming out on the 15th of March. When interest rates are raised or risen, whatever the word is, this thing typically goes up as well. So that's another macro situation there we need to be worrying about. So the macro is bad for Bitcoin because it affects the DXY, and the TA is bad for Bitcoin directly because it affects the DXY, which affects Bitcoin. So nothing's really looking too good here for Bitcoin. And then when we break it down even further as evidence as to why we're going to 30k, we can look at something like the 4-hour chart, okay? And look at this thick pink downtrending resistance line. Every time we reject off of this line, historically, we dump, okay? We rejected off of here in September, we dump down like 20%, probably more than that, okay? We came down, we tested it here, we had a pump because we tested it. We came down, we rejected off it here. Okay, look where I'm circling. We had a massive drop in a matter of a very short period of time. We came down, it acted as resistance. We broke it to the upside, we saw a massive pump. Came down, acted as resistance, broke it to the downside, saw a massive dump. Okay, and right now, we've broken it to the downside, we've come up, and we're retesting it currently. We've kind of actually just rejected off of it already. Okay, and that would suggest we see another massive dump down. Okay, and that would be to 35k. As the first step of that move, and then we'd be heading down to 30k ultimately. Also, it is worth noting, and I'm just pointing out a lot of bearish things right now because there's really not much bullish things to point out. Also, this is a head and shoulders pattern on the 4-hourly chart, right? Which would target, first and foremost, the neckline, which is at 35k, which is already targeted from the bearish bat formation. Okay, so that's another piece of evidence supporting that. And then when you see a bearish head and shoulders pattern, you have to take a target from the top of the head to the shoulder and apply that to the breakout point. And that's going to take us, to around 24k. But, most likely it's just targeting downwards. And so 30k is an obvious target for that. So that's the video, guys. I'm sorry for being a little bit out of breath here. I've done a lot of talking today. I've been working on that course all day, talking all day on that course. I did a video earlier this morning, and I was talking on that as well. So I'm a little bit out of breath here. But essentially what I wanted to cover is the fact that, 30k is very likely within a month, give or take, a week or so. Very, very likely. It doesn't look good on Bitcoin right now. We've got a bearish bat formation. We've broke below major support. We've got a head and shoulders pattern. The DXY is breaking out. The total cryptocurrency market cap is on the edge of a cliff. It's not looking good, guys. You should be careful. You shouldn't be entering any trades right now for sure. And ultimately, our prediction's playing out. For those of you who don't know, my prediction for Bitcoin is we're going downwards towards the 200-week SMA. Okay, that's that green line there. By the time we get there, it'll be anywhere between 22k and 24k. And each day that passes, that prediction is looking more and more likely, regardless of what the haters have said all along. And they're probably down 100% by now. So let's see what happens. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Sorry for being out of breath, and I'll catch you in the next video.